सारे दिन में साकीपन की स्टेज का, करावनार की स्टेज का, अशरीरीपन की स्टेज का, कर्मातीत अवस्था अनुभव पार
आत्मा मैं मालिक हूँ और ये सब कर्म इंद्रियां जो है ये मेरे कार्य करने के निमित्त है। इतना नशा हमको है और कर्म इंद्रियों के मालिक बन के जाएंगे तो कर्मातीत होना क्या बड़ी बात।
इंद्रियां जीत रहेंगे तो आत्मा अपने बाबा के ही याद के सुखों को अनुभव करती है। जैसा बाप है वैसे हम बच्चे हैं। जो बाप का घर है सो हमारा घर है। जो बाप की शक्तियां हैं वही हमारी शक्तियां हैं। जो बाप के गुण है वे हमारे गुण है।
भगवान कहते हैं एक प्रभु का आधार ले लो, बाकी किसी के अधीन मत बनो। किसके बच्चे हैं, कहाँ रहते हैं, क्या करना है, कर्म बंधनों से मुक्त हो करके कर्मातीत स्थिति से घर जाना है।
बाप और दादा से प्यार है ना, जिससे प्यार है उस जैसा बनना, बाप समान बनना ही है। कोई मुश्किल नहीं, सिर्फ बार बार अटेंशन, साधारण जीवन नहीं। हर एक बाप का बच्चा बाप को प्यारे दे प्यारा है। आप सभी स्टेज पर भी हो, स्टेज से भी नजदीक दिल में बैठे हो। एक एक समझे हम बाबा के सामने बैठे, बाप दादा सन्मुख सामने बैठने की दृष्टि दे रहे हैं।
भाग्यवान हम, भगवान हमसे मिलने आते। कितने भाग्यवान हम, भगवान हमसे मिलने आते।
इन नजरों ने मुझको निहाल कर दिया, बाबा तेरे प्यार ने कमाल कर दिया। इन नजरों ने मुझको निहाल कर दिया, बाबा तेरे प्यार ने कमाल कर दिया। दिलाराम बन के दिल में समा लिया, पाके तुम्हें बाबा सब मैंने पा लिया। सदा ही साथ निभाओगे एहसास दिला दिया, बाबा तेरे प्यार ने कमाल कर दिया। इन नजरों ने मुझको निहाल कर दिया, बाबा तेरे प्यार ने कमाल कर दिया। सूर्य बन के तम को मिटा दिया, सर्व शक्तियों से मेरे दामन को सजा दिया, कदमों से उठाकर अपने सिर का ताज बना दिया। बाबा तेरे प्यार ने कमाल कर दिया, इन नजरों ने मुझको निहाल कर दिया। बाबा तेरे प्यार ने कमाल कर दिया, बाबा तेरे प्यार ने कमाल कर दिया, बाबा तेरे प्यार ने कमाल कर दिया।
Om Shanti. Good morning, Didi. Good afternoon, Jayanti. And Didi, I see, is, I think, in Avyakti Bhavan, right? Formerly known as the White House. And Jayanti, where are you?
I'm in London now.
What room are you in precisely?
The studio upstairs in Diamond House.
In Diamond House. Okay. So, and welcome to the rest of the family from around the world. I hope the time suits everyone. And so, as is our custom, we will allow each of you to start with about 5 minutes of sharing. So, Didi ji, would you like to go first?
Om Shanti, everyone. I want to express that how happy I am. And really, really, my heart is full of love that how we are able to be together as global family, seeing each other, sharing our drishtis. So really, I am very, very happy and also very grateful that drama and of course technology has helped us that we can do this. So first of all, I would like to ask you that are you all okay? I'm sure that you all are okay, but I think few days ago I had a good meeting with instruments from Middle East, hearing their stories and their experience. I think you all are very much aware that how things are really moving towards as if rehearsal or could be final Third World War. And I of course have good wishes for everyone, but I think I always felt it's Baba says that when it's time of destruction, the intellect really works in a completely different way. But we have love for Baba, so we have to be, through our thoughts, words, and actions, always, always build, construct, mend. We still have constantly the thought that Baba is establishing new world, golden aged world, and we all have to focus on that. So just this month homework of being unshakable, immovable, and consistent. So I think when we listen to Baba's signals, and also we are getting now time signals. So Baba's signals are, especially for this month, unshakable, immovable, and consistent. you know, there are so many souls who are suffering. There is fear, there is scarcity, there is, you know, they are hurt by something or other. So I think we have to do lot of mansa seva to create vibrations which could help them. And so, yes, we could be affected by emotionally by seeing how countries can be destroyed, our resources are being destroyed, and then how it's the human beings who bring total poverty to other human beings or to the world in general. So it's like emotionally, we can be moved in the sense of seeing the suffering of the world to erase the civilization even. And very, very deep expression of revenge and misuse of power. But then on other side, we know Baba had said, time will come, they will use the bombs they haven't built to keep it, but they have built to use it. So everyone is bringing out their best missile, powerful missile. Could be range of 4,000 something miles. So all these are different scenes of drama. But then our attention goes on that if world is at this time in this condition, what should be our stage? And we should be very soon complete. And so there are two things I keep in mind. Is something lacking in me, something missing in me? So maybe few percentage are less than 100% in every virtue, every power. I have patience, but maybe another 2% will make it 100%. I have love, maybe another 1% is needed. So we have to just look at what more percentage is required so that it's 100% that is becoming complete and perfect. So I think both things goes on internally, our own checking and also increasing the capacity to serve through the mind, through stage. And wherever is possible, we give the message of Baba. So this thought also comes that how do we do very quickly that the message is shared with the whole world? What are different meetings? I know that everywhere you all will have regional meetings and national meetings. We are having 2 next week, USA and then regional. And I think we are coming up with how to celebrate 90th year, what we do for this year. And now we know that we cannot really do in the sense of, we have to do big programs. Anyway, we are thinking to discuss what is the methods at present, what should be our lifestyle, and what should be the atmosphere of center. So these are topics we thought we will discuss in teachers' meeting and then, of course, get some signals from Baba. And we will send everyone very soon. But I want you all to keep well. If you need anything, anytime, any help, please let me know, and of course each other. We are big family, Baba's family, and we are all just one and together, even if we are at different places. So I'm very, very happy, glad to meet you all. And also today we have big celebration and Sister Jayanti's birthday. Mm. So we have a gift for Jayanti Ben. It's the orchid purple color. Jayanti Ben, wish you happy birthday.
Thank you.
चलाओ वो video. We also have meeting and it's celebrating your birthday. So you're very fortunate.
I am very fortunate indeed.
Sorry, I was muted. Thanking Didi for her kind offer. And now to Sister Jayanti and your current churning in terms of your heart.
Om Shanti. It's a pleasure to be with all of you, as Didi has said. It really is a global family that comes together for these gatherings, which is very beautiful. And yesterday we had a screening of a film that had been made of an international emergency preparation program that took place in central London a little while ago. And in that they had eminent scientists and people from health and people from security from many different areas. And they were all discussing the situation about how prepared or unprepared the UK is. And of course, what comes out is that the UK is just not prepared at all. And so they took us step by step through all the different factors of what's actually going on in the world. And some of those facts I've been hearing at the UN conferences, but here was a gathering in which it was at Westminster Central Hall, so just across the road from Parliament. And so there were MPs, there were other heads of department from the civil service, people of that caliber who were there in the big gathering. And they had filmed that. And then they'd also filmed people who saw these speeches, and then ordinary people from the different racial, ethnic backgrounds present in the UK currently. And so each of these persons were airing their feelings about what's going on and how they didn't know some of these facts. And so the question was, well, what can we do about all of this? And what came to my mind is that recently, I think 1 or 2 days ago, excuse me. So 1 or 2 days ago, Baba had said that at the beginning, there were visions both of the creation of the Golden Age, but also of the destruction of the Iron Age. And today I was thinking that we don't need to think about this with the third eye. We can actually see with our 2 physical eyes the beginning of the end. And yes, we don't know the time span, but definitely the crises that we are seeing, which is now a perma-crisis situation, permanent crisis. One thing hasn't finished and another one begins, and whether it's war or terrorism or the collapse of the environment or unforeseen events, all of these things are physically visible. And so I don't need the third eye to know that. I can see that with my eyes. But what about the other side, the creation of the Golden Age? Are we able to actually demonstrate that we are the children of God, that God has come on earth and is preparing the Golden Age? Do I have those qualities, not just of a yogi, but beyond the yogi, the Raj yogi, the royal yogi, who's able to demonstrate all the things that Baba has been teaching us through time. And do I now have the possibility of actually revealing those qualities so that then people can see them and know that we are very close, not just to the end, but the new beginning, that beyond the destruction, there is actually something that has been happening quietly, incognito. You know, when there's a storm and the trees fall down, it's noisy, it's huge, it's visible. When someone plants a seed, it's quiet. And when the seed actually germinates and breaks the ground open, even solid concrete sometimes, but the seed germinates and it sprouts and it grows very slowly. It's not with any fanfare of trumpets. It's no noise. It just continues to grow. And when it reaches a point where everybody sees its beauty, then they're amazed. How did this tree come about? So I think that hard work on the underground level of the dadis with Brahma Baba and Mama planting the roots, then breaking through that concrete of public opinion and the scriptures and all the stories against purity that you all know about. So that was a breaking through the ground, and the seed was able then to gradually grow. Today, Baba said it'll grow slowly, but then there'll be many, many centers. And at a time when we were hearing Sakar Baba's Murlis, it was about maybe by the time Baba left, it was 450 centers or so. And nobody could have actually visualized the situation where now there's a center in every district in India and in the major proportion of the world. We don't have centers in every country in the world, but many of the places that remain are the small islands rather than big places. So construction on the external level of centers, that's happened in a big way, but also construction in terms of the transformation of souls. Is that still incognito, and is it only Brahmins who are aware of it? Or can we find a way to be able to express this so that then people can see the practical results of the 90 years of work that has been going on? So we're all responsible to be able to reveal Baba to the world through our qualities, our behavior, our character, the actions that we perform. And so it's a very interesting time in human history when transition has been happening slowly, gradually, invisibly. And now we have to make it visible so that then the world comes to know that God has come, is doing his task, and the new world is ready, so that they don't have any more fear of the old world finishing and the signs of the old world collapsing are very, very visible now. But what's the alternative? They don't know. They think it's annihilation. But no, it's not. The cycle is eternal. The cycle continues to turn. And so what's ahead of us is a better world, a new world, a world of plenty. But yes, there's a transition home and then down again. But just ahead of us, from Kali Yuga to Satyug, the age of truth, the world of truth is just ahead. And so as for Baba, Baba never felt that Satyug was a long way to go. Baba always felt that Satyug was just ahead. And Baba would ask the question, can you see the trees of Satyug? And Baba's children today would probably say, we can see them. They're just ahead. We can only just see them. But to change from that language to, yes, the trees of Satyug are in front of me. I can see them. And I can also see Satyug in the qualities of all of Baba's children across the world. So I know I can visibly see that Satyug is going to come very, very soon.
Thank you. Here's a question that hadn't occurred to me until you just spoke. And that's in connection with the fact that many of the world's religions are either seeing where we are at the present time as being, what did they call it? The
Yamat Kasamir.
the last days. What there's a title they give it. I've forgotten what it is. But these are this is the final part. And then I understand. I only heard it this morning that there's now a wave two, both from the Pope and from the current, is she the Dean of Westminster or whatever, that latest one who was invested in, had her investiture in England. But they're putting it under the title of Thy Kingdom Come. In other words, that you've got the one who are focused on Armageddon, and you have the other ones that seem to be focused on the coming kingdom. I wonder if we'll lead them. Might they be the ones who would hear and see what we're doing and get on board with it? Whereas we're thinking of people from other that have no religion or are Hindus or whatever. But is it possible? What do you think, Didi, that people from these other religions will be more clear, because they are clear to some extent, that there's going to be an Armageddon and that the kingdom of God is nigh? Do you think that they will see us, or they'll see us as imposters? What do you think, Didi?
Jayanti, when you can.
I remember a meeting with Avyakt Bapdada, and I can date it because it was in 84 that Madam Sadat had come. And it was then that after the February conference around March, I'd gone to Egypt and I'd come back to Madhuban. And Bob was asking me what had happened in Egypt, and it was nothing very much that had happened. Madam Sadat, of course, had taken the course by then, but in terms of service outside, nothing much. And then Baba just paused, and it was like Baba was looking into the distance. And then Baba said, in every region, there will be somebody who will point their finger upwards and say that this is a task of one, there is only one. And so every region will have its own mic, and they will all point their fingers in the same direction. And that's when God's revelation will happen. And so, yes, it's very, very likely that it would be the leaders of religion in all the different regions who will be able to say this, because they've really had love for God. They've had love for serving people, serving humanity. They're the good ones, and there are some of them. And so these are the people, I think, who are waiting for us to touch them and give them God's message. And yes, who knows, it can happen very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, good thought.
Didi, and this maybe is more back to Didi Mohini. The situation in India and the statement put out by our Secretary General, and we all got it from news feeds or whatever. There was no official announcement made about it, and some are not clear. Does it just mean India? Does it mean the rest of the world? Maybe for those who haven't heard it. And so the question, because we do have instruments coming from Madhuban this year, I'm sure in other parts of the world as well, and they seem to say that all that would be curtailed. So what, presumably you were either informed or involved in the making the statement. So what way should we be viewing it?
I think it's not only in India, but I'm not sure, but the way I understood your question is that it's not only the leader of India, but Australia. Many countries, they are kind of announcing that there is critical time and there might be difficulties, and so they have certain guidelines and they're advising people not to travel. Like India's Prime Minister is requesting not to go abroad and not to spend dollars, and but also airlines are reducing a lot of their services. Like Air India is reducing half of the flights because of the fuel crisis. And all airlines in India told the Prime Minister that we're not sure how long we will be able to fly, and pool the car, use the public's transport. And so it's like warning is there, I think. And so that is why I think that we all have to, as you said, that I had told those who are traveling that save the date, but don't buy tickets, because many airlines are going to, recently 2, 3 airlines just gone bankrupt. So will there be fuel enough to fly? There could be any kind of, uh, so warnings are there, and let's see, but I find in India, they are really doing, they had marathon recently with 3,500 people. They had so many big programs happening. Only what we had advised them not to have too much decoration, too much bands and singing and dancing. But definitely they should have a lot of programs on meditation, on yoga, explaining the different spiritual aspects. So let's see, we have to, what's the drama? Right? Drama is like it could happen, or maybe it's just the rehearsal, and Baba wants us to wake up and do as much we can and then see the future.
Okay. One of the things that I was appreciating, I was hearing you last night, Didi Mohini, being interviewed by a young sister, and it was a wonderful interaction. But in what other organization can you have the leaders, the main people in that organization, expose themselves to being questioned by the most junior member of the organization on any topic, and often in a public domain? I remember some time ago, to do with a question maybe that we had thought to ask you, and this Indian brother said, "Oh, no, you can't ask the seniors a question like that." But it's amazing to me that you do accept all questions, and are willing to answer them. Do you ever feel you've been put on the spot by a question? They could even be personal. Somebody asked you, "Did you ever shake?" Yeah.
I don't all the time remember and have awareness that I am the chief of organization or so.
Okay.
Really not. You are saying it, and I am thinking, yeah, that's true. But I think that, what should I say? Yeah, I have nothing in my head about being the head. But all the time I just feel as a sister, as a friend, as, just be part of the family, that keeps me more comfortable. And yeah, what you're saying, now I have to say.
Maybe I can ask Jayanti then, do you think that being in the West for a large part of your service, for both of you, that this has made a difference in your being beyond being vulnerable, or moving out of just that I'm, as Didi says, the head of the organization or whatever the title is? Do you think being in the West has helped in that way, for honesty?
Probably it has, but I see it more in terms of following in the footsteps of the daddies, because if you think about Daddy Prakash Mani and how she would sit in the courtyard and she would be available for everyone. And so that's the sort of image that's in front of both of us, because we grew up with that. So Dadi made herself available for everyone. The big difference today is that everything is put across on the media.
Right.
She was meeting people in the courtyard. It was very personal and intimate, but she was making herself very open and vulnerable to whoever. And people would come to her and ask her, Dadi Janki. She would meet, like you know, the newest students and the oldest instruments, whatever it was, and simple people, high level people, it didn't matter. Dadi would say, yes, I'll meet them. But of course now everything is multiplied in terms of the outreach through social media. So that's the different factor. But otherwise, the tradition within the Brahma Kumaris is that of the family gathering. And so that family feeling, like Didi Mohini pointed out, she sees herself as a sister, as a mother and a teacher. And so all that continues.
Thank you. Didi Mohini, in relation
What do
to
you mean?
G. But
Are there not any questions from others in your chat box?
nobody's asked. You don't like my questions?
No, I'm just saying, are there any interaction coming from the family?
Can somebody tell me if there is?
No, because I thought we interact with them if they have something to
That's
say
great
or to ask.
if they do, but I haven't seen any, Didi.
Maybe they don't
Okay.
know they can do it.
Yes, because Bhumi has asked them each time. Yeah. Has
What are they thinking? No, any one of them want to share something? Or...
Well, we haven't gotten to there's something. She says, yes, thank you. Can somebody else monitor the thing for me, please? Bhumi? Yeah. So my next question is a very simple one. And then we'll get a bit more, take it a little deeper perhaps. But you're talking about the daddies. I remember when Daddy Gulzar was almost forced to adopt the title Daddy. And so when did the other ones become daddies? Who gave them that title and why?
I don't think anyone gives title. It comes from our heart. There was a time we couldn't just say Gulzar Behan. So it was very naturally the whole feeling of, of course, that is the highest respected title. Not even a title, it really comes from love.
So when you came, were they
because-
already daddies? Daddy Janki, Daddy Kamarka, were they already daddies at that stage? Were they called daddy or not? It's what I'm trying to figure out.
This time I was there, and there is one brother, he always calls me Dadi. I said, no, don't call me Dadi. For me, Ratan Mohini Dadi was Dadi, and their era, Dadi's era is finished. Now with Didi's era. So he said, no, I will call you whatever you say. But I don't know what difference, what is people's bhavana or what they feel. They always say, oh, when we meet you, it's just Dadi. And, so I don't know if Jayanti has something else to say, but for me, it's just the feelings people have.
The question was in relation to something else. And of course, the Murlis that we're hearing are from the 60s. And now here we are, 2026. And when Baba talks about number-wise in the golden age, we're already pretty certain about who's going to be in that elevated number. But did they know it at that time? Did the rest of the family? I don't think Daddy Janki was considered to be particularly elevated, maybe Daddy Kamarka. And so when he talks about that, at that time, they wouldn't have known who would be getting the highest numbers. But now we have a bit more sense of it, who will take those numbers, no?
I know more the history of Pune,
Uh-huh.
and I know that it was in around 1960-61 that when Indra, and you knew her well, and I think Didi Mohini also knew her. So when Indra came onto the scene, and she saw people calling Dadi Janki Ben, and she said to them, the students, don't you think that within our tradition of spirituality, but also just family in the Sindhi community, by now we would be calling Dadi Janki Dadi. We wouldn't be calling her. And so she was picking up on the Lokik thing, but also translating it to the spiritual. And so I know for a fact that she started that whole system in Pune of calling.
Oh, interesting.
And that's a fact. And today I think that for myself also, I would say that for me, Dadi holds that special connotation of those who were with Brahma Baba and lived through the early period in Hyderabad and Karachi. And so they're the ones we used to call the Dadis. And then, yes, certainly by the time I was properly in Gyan, by the end of the 60s, Dadi Kumarka was Dadi Kumarka, Didi was Didi, Baba would call Didi Didi. And that happened around, or certainly I heard Baba call Didi Didi by 1966. So when it started was probably a bit earlier. Because again, in Delhi and in that area, even if a sister is 2 years, 3 years older than her brother, the parents teach the child to call the elder one Didi.
Didi, yeah.
And so they would always call Didi Mohini Didi. And so Baba laughed and said, well, I'm going to call you Didi also. And Didi said, no need. But it started that way. And you would remember the story of how when Dadi was in Madhuban, all of them were still there. Nobody had yet gone to open centers or anything. At that time, Baba said to Dadi Janki that she should go to Bombay. And Baba gave her a letter for her mother. And in that letter, you're remembering the story now, in that letter, Baba had written, I'm sending one of the 8 jewels to you, my Maharathi child, to be with you, to support you. And of course, Baba wouldn't have known the date or anything, but when she got to Bombay, then it was actually the anniversary of her father's passing away. And so it was an important, significant day. And the fact that Baba had remembered the mother and had sent Dadi, especially with that letter saying, one of my 8 jewels. So it was significant. Baba knew, and Baba would, in his relationship with the others, express it in a very specific way. Like with Didi, Baba made Didi the manager of the Yagya in 1965 after Mama's passage. And so there was a recognition there that this is one who is senior most. And then with Dadi Kumarka, one day they were sharing the story of how Ishu Dadi was sharing this, and Dadi Kumarka was there too. And Ishu Dadi said there were 2 people that Baba would write a letter to every single day through the 60s. One was Dadi Kumarka, and the other one was Jagdish Pai. So Bombay and Delhi. And in those letters, it would be more instructions for service, directions for service, do this, do this, do this. And Baba's had the inspiration and all of that. And then Dadi laughed and said, and if I didn't reply to Baba every single day, Baba would be on the phone and say, are you too busy to speak to me? And so Baba would tease her. But this is the thing, that it was clear, even at that time, who were the ones who were going to take on the mantle of responsibility in a sense.
Oh, thank you. So I see some questions now. Someone's saying that it's Baba's task to prepare us spiritually for the final moments. Wondering, do the Didis have any suggestions for what each center should share with their students to prepare physically for emergency preparations?
That's what I mentioned, that I just mentioned that we're having USA teachers meeting, about 140 of them together. And we have raised all these points so that we can discuss and then really create a proper way, whether it is for personal, some of the, I think, directions came from Madhuban about silence on Monday and evening meditation and, some of those points. So spiritually preparing myself and the center, the family, and also physically. So I think that as soon as I have something proper as a whole, little by little we definitely can share. So I was thinking then to send it in rosary or send it to international office, and then we can, so if you also, anyone has any ideas, you can send Bhumi, and we will try to. I think it's good that we have input from different countries also, because every country's situation could be little different, not much maybe. Like the expense or the prices of fuel increased everywhere. In New York, it's very high now. California is very high. So I think that there might be little difference in different kind of situations, but generally they are very, very common. So we will prepare something very soon and send to all the centers, and it will come to you from international office.
Okay, there's one more question. I'll give it to Sister Jayanti to please refer how we can really feel that self-respect in that Maya sometimes becomes strong in making us feel less than capable or not really ready for the final scenes.
If I remember how much faith and trust Baba has in me, and that applies to everyone, if you think about how Baba has helped you through dark situations and pulled you out of them and brought you back again into the light, or there have been challenging situations in which you thought, I wonder what's going to happen now. And yet Baba has shown you the path ahead and helped you come to that. So the more you think about all of this and keep that alive in your awareness, the easier it's going to be to get through whatever present challenges in front of you at this moment. And so I think that it's very important to just look back and see how far you've come and how much further Baba can take you and is taking you. But the important thing is to remember your victories. Sometimes we get bogged down with other things, but remember your victories and how Baba has helped you come this far. And that will definitely help you go through whatever is the current challenge. If Baba has found me and made me belong to him and has sustained me all this period of time, then surely whatever now remains is this much of the cycle. And so surely Baba's help is going to be with me. And I feel that all the help that we're getting from Madhuban currently, we don't just get the Murli and the blessing and the slogan, but now we're getting the Avyak signal. And then there are also the points that are coming our way, because that also is a huge amount of work that's been put in to get those points together. And so for every day, there's a point. And so there's a lot of material to keep my mind moving in the right direction if I choose to use all the help that I'm getting from Madhuban.
That I remember that when Baba became awake, then Didi Mohini, we were 12 of us, we were invited to come, and they wanted us to share more responsibility. And Dadi Prakashmani said, now I need you all more. And so Didi said something which now, when Jayanti was talking and it's coming back to me, she said, each one of you tell your two specialties. And we said, why? I will tell my specialty, or someone else says you are this is fine. And now I'm realizing, because each one of us, if you don't compare with everyone, but just look at your specialties. Sometimes we find people have hand on computers or social media, or they can do what is presently very popular type of service, then I will say, no, I don't know all that. Maybe I know little. So sometimes maybe we compare what is more required, and like we had this question came up from someone, that a person who has good heart and other person has a good brain. So who is higher? I said one who has good heart can definitely get good brain. But if good brain doesn't have good heart, that means sometimes we, low self-esteem come from comparing and saying what I don't have. But for me also in my life, I always saw what I could do, what I have. And I never thought that, oh, someone can do this, why I cannot, not why. I just say, okay, that's that soul's part, this is my part. Knowing once what one can do and one's specialties, focus and keep going on that. I think that definitely keeps you always in your self-respect of who you are.
Okay. I see there's some more questions, but anyway, one of the things that I wanted to ask about was, it came up this morning, this idea of belonging, and how when we come to Baba, we're all at different levels of feelings of self-worth, often disguised by our ego. But and then what we do in order to either experience love or approval. And could you maybe speak to that idea of how, and it's not about approval from our equals, but it would be to do with those in places of authority, where maybe you didn't get that approval in your growing up or whatever. And so how do I know, that what I'm seeking is approval, or I'm seeking love, or how do I know that I'm only getting approval and not love? How do I distinguish between those two things? And there are different permutations there, but you can go with it. Jayanti, would you like to speak to it?
I know that for myself, when I started the whole subject of service, and it started very quickly, it was a process of learning, and I was eager to learn. And so I treated every situation of service as a learning step. And then when I came to London, and then there was nothing, and there was no service, and everything I tried wasn't working out. And so at that time, I realized that I had to shift my focus, and I had to shift my focus to self-progress. And I realized also that what service really is, what I'm trying to do in terms of service, is to bring Baba's message so that souls can connect with God. And so my own connection with God has to be so strong that this is what I do when I serve, that their connection has to be awoken, and they make that connection with God. So that became a very, very strong motivation for me. And so today, when I see sometimes souls competing with each other, I really feel a little sad, because they don't need to compete. Each one has their own talents and specialities. And if they just simply use those for Baba, to bring souls to Baba, whatever it may be, whether it's in speaking, whether it's in creating content for media, whatever it is, but that one goal of bringing souls closer to God, then you get away from all this thing about approval or love or whatever. And so I think that conversation with the self, especially each day and early in the morning, it's the best time to clean out my heart and see, well, what was my motive yesterday and what is my motive today? Is my motive still the same, that I come closer to Baba? And whatever it is I do should be with that aim of bringing other souls closer to Baba. Because if I get into that jungle of competition with others and comparison with others, I'll just get stuck and I'll lose all my happiness. And I don't want that to happen. My happiness is precious. It's my treasure. I have to take care of it. And it's going to happen if I do service with that consciousness of Baba.
Didi, what do you do when you kind of sense that someone is really seeking your approval in the things? How do you handle someone's need for approval? Do you give it to them, or do you ignore
What
them,
I
knowing that it can never satisfy them? Or tell me.
no, what I realized recently, few new students completed their course and they have started listening to Murli. But they came to me, said, in this, you don't acknowledge even that we are now a finished course or we are Murli students. And so the word acknowledgement. And then I know that, so I am now, kind of thinking that everyone needs some kind of acknowledgement. In that it could be, you know, you can call it love. See, one is acknowledgement, other is recognition. And recognition could be your desire, but acknowledgement seems to be needed these days. And I think it happens like if you go to a school and university from one class to another. So I was thinking that, in Madhuban, Dadi used to have this ceremonies, no, Saman. So it's like you completed 10 years, 20 years. Now these days people come to me, I have completed 17 years, no celebration. I didn't even get a bigger, like in India, there is whole thing about how big is your badge, is it how big it is. Even like Jayanti and myself, most of us haven't changed our size of the badge. I rather, whenever I get big one, I return and I say, give to someone who can really use it. So I think what I learned, and I feel we should do more, is to acknowledge, within the family, or that could help also.
That's very good. I like that, changing from approval to acknowledgement. And in a kind of way, it's just giving somebody immediate feedback, and it can be very, very satisfying, right? At that moment, it's a momentary thing. Yeah. So
No, so that is why what we do sometimes, like in month of January, those who have taken course whole year
yes.
at different timings, we give them shawl, badge. It's kind of acknowledgement.
Yeah, I
I
think,
think that,
yeah, we're in the days
yeah.
of graduation from college at the minute. And I know one of the centers here, when her group finishes the course, she has a graduation ceremony for them, which is
Yeah, they
sweet.
do it. They do
Yeah.
many centers too, yeah.
But it's a funny thing because, and I don't know, maybe Jayanti will acknowledge or feel the same way, but some people are not into ceremony. They don't like ceremonies. In fact, the
It's
opposite.
not ceremony.
No, but
It's
I'm
not
just saying,
ceremony.
I'm just saying that there are those who like those kinds of public acknowledgements, and there are those who do not. So to be able to satisfy both.
It's just more like making them, now you are part of
Yes,
family,
yeah,
and
that's nice.
it's not
That's nice.
it's just it's just a badge and the
Yes,
shawl, or
yeah.
sometimes something, very
And so,
simple. It's not a
yeah,
ceremony, but we call it ceremony.
no, that's very nice. It's very lovely what's done, Didi. I'm certainly not putting it down, but I know both things are there. And I don't know if that kind of can lead into this thing of the choice. Choice is something that I feel is there in terms of the the organization itself, ultimately, it's the individual's choice for everything, isn't it? Whether it's a sensible or a nonsensible choice could be debated, but you have a choice. And people equate.
Like yes, recently or yesterday, some of the major questions came, like about donation of the organs, and so they were asking my opinion. I said, one is my opinion, but there is no, Baba hasn't given direction, or Yagya doesn't have, you must do or not do. It's your choice, right? So they were asking me, what would be your choice? I said, I would want my body to be fully with the organs given to the nature and the cremation. And that's what my feelings are for my body. And this is what I would do. But I will not say you must do this or organization recommend. So there are many things where really, it is your choice. Like Brother Ramesh used to say, okay, people make wills. Now there is so much complication to release that will and all that. Whatever you have to give to Baba when you are in life. Why you think that after I leave, then whatever you want to give to Lokix, give to Lokix, right? Or you give to Baba and rest will go to Lokix. They will be happy. We had a Jewish woman, she left body. And one day before she called me, I was sitting in Harmony House and she said, can I contribute this? I said, okay. And next day she left body. So the family came, police came. Family was so happy that she left everything for us. And, so there are many, many things where you have to know what is the right thing. And then it's your feelings, what you want to do, how you want to do it. There are so many things like that.
Right. Because choice, it's always the word that goes along with is always freedom of choice, that it means you have the freedom. What choice will we have in the golden age?
Whether I have a mango or a pineapple. So there won't be big decisions that we have to make because it'll be a very natural flow of situations. Even in governance, if you think about how people see Madhuban, they see it as a seamless machine. And yes, there's some scars that are going on below the surface, but that's Baba and we're dealing with it in the family. But generally, people would say that everything is set in such a systematic way that they don't know who's giving orders, which is real. So I think that those sanskars of creating a system, Mama and Baba created the original systems of Madhuban. Didi and Dadi followed those systems, and those basic systems are in place even today. And so those systems of Satyug of governance, it's not even big choices and big decisions that have to be made. Those sanskars will flow in a very natural way and things will move along in harmony. I think that is what Satyug is all about, everything moving in synchronicity and harmony. And the little decisions that we have to make, they'll be fun. Am I going to sing now or am I going to dance now? What is it that I want to do?
So, just this other
It's
thought.
Yeah. It's so interesting if you live for a while in Madhuban and everything the way it is done because large number. So if there is gift to be given to Madhuban Niwasis, so a brother is sitting outside with a computer and then he marks your name. And not only that, but somewhere the system is that. So I say, why you all have to do that? So nobody can come second time and say, I didn't get it. So that means, and then I said, but what about, material for kurta pajamas? Now some are tall, some are young. Or this is written there everywhere. This is the height of the brother. This is the. I was so surprised how minute details there were, how to function. same department, as I go and I come to know, everything is so well managed, and of course, whatever is needed is just how we give more spiritual love and sharing, and otherwise, administration-wise, I think it's something very, very, certain things are there which we definitely like to change, but mostly the system is really excellent.
Yeah, it really is. So I was wondering, you're both, you could say, Raj Rishis, right? You're rulers and you're, I won't say renunciates, I don't care for that so much, but Rishi more in the sense of being yogis, right? But your roles demand, it seems to me that you're more the ruler in a sense, in that you have a whole kingdom in the purest sense of the word, lots of people wanting your time, wanting your energy, wanting to be with you. Where and when do you find time to be in solitude? And would you choose the option of solitude, just being by yourself for, say, 6 weeks or 6 months, over what, because you really don't have a choice at one level, no? We say we have a choice, but at some level you don't have a choice. You have to keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Definition of Raj Rishi is that Raj Rishis are in the, court or whatever, the kingdom, and they are consultants. That means whenever they're not able to decide, they will call Raj Rishi that in that area. But I feel that, there is so much natural silence, and solitude is not to be alone. Of course, sometimes I think we do get time in between, always. Like I'm in Shandivan, we are so busy. I know, Jayanti, because people come, groups come. There's always. And one way I like it very much too, because you are really surrounded by family. But I find solitude is something, a very personal practice, that even for 5 minutes, for half an hour, or during rest time, there is enough time for solitude, and, also, of course, sometimes little more meeting people, but it's very enjoyable to be with family and have internal solitude too. So I find there is a good balance. It's up to me what I do.
I sometimes think, and forgive me if I'm wrong, Jayanti Ben, I feel that the only solitude you get is when you're on a plane. And although you may be with a lot of other people, but they're not needing anything from you at that moment. So how do you do your solitude? Because I think you have a natural tendency for that. Right or wrong?
My preference is silence,
I think
solitude,
so.
rather
Yeah.
than partying and the extrovert bit. So yes, you know me pretty well. But I find that Baba gives me the space that I need when I need it. And it doesn't have to be hours and hours. It can be just a few minutes here and there. But it's just incredible how Baba knows what I need, and Baba will provide what I need at the time of need. So I'm very comfortable that Baba's in charge, and it's not always my choice to do this or do that. But with Baba in charge, it just simply means that Baba's looking after me and caring for me in a very practical way. And so sometimes I think it's going to be a very busy evening, and one person phones and says they can't make it. Another person says, I'm stuck in traffic, I'm going to be half an hour late. And so a little window opens up in which there's time for the self. And so I don't have to think about, well, I'm not getting enough time, but it happens in a very natural way.
Okay. And so speaking of Baba, and in fact, this was someone else's question too, and I don't know if there's enough time it's kind of being the devil's advocate here, but what's he doing at the minute? What's Baba doing at the minute? Didi?
He doesn't have to do one thing at a time.
Okay.
You know, his power, his love can be acting in the whole world at this time. His love, and because like sun shines, no? So what sun does at this time is shining. So what Baba does is Baba, you know, his love is unlimited, his ocean. People are calling out, people are praying, people are meditating, and some are doing lot of tapasya. Many are renouncing sadhus, saints. They all are thinking of Baba, right? So Baba is everywhere. Baba is everywhere, not in the sense
He's
of
omnipresent.
he's attending to everyone, no? So he is very busy.
But is he? That is that the experience? Sometimes I feel that we're doing everything, you know, and I know just like you can sit in one place and inspire the rest of us to move, like Daddy Janki used to do. She was the busiest person, but she would often just be sitting. She wasn't doing anything physically, and so it really, that Baba has inspired us, but it's, I guess that would be the main thing for me, that through knowledge and whatever, he's inspired us to do everything. We're the ones that create the golden age. No disrespect, Baba, really, but just looking at it in a kind of a different way. What the heck does God do? Jayanti Ben.
I would have said that it's God who's inspiring the Brahmin family, God who's responding to the Bhagats, yes, definitely. And I'm also seeing that God plays the role of a bystander and observer. And Baba's seeing the Mahabharat war unfold, the three armies become present on the field, and there are some who are the ones with a loving intellect, and there are some who have an intellect that's totally divorced from God. And so God is, within all of the things that he's doing, he's also very much the detached observer and watching the drama unfold.
I think so, yes. But, he's given us, he's emptied himself into all of his children from the beginning. Not that he's empty, but he's emptied himself. And then he's kind of not, you know, because he doesn't have a body and he doesn't stand. But it's like, okay, I've given you everything now. Get on with it. Yeah. So just that thought. I think we wanted to show something. Bhumi, are we ready for it? Let's see.
There's only one.
सब भारत के, ये भी भारत में जन्म हुआ, डायरेक्ट ब्रह्मा बाप द्वारा भारत में जन्म हुआ, पहले पहले सेवा स्थान पे बाबा ने भेजे। तो सब देखो, क्योंकि आपका फाउंडेशन पक्का है ना, पालना भी तो ली है, चाहे पीछे आई, लेकिन पालना डायरेक्ट ली। ये भाग्य आप और रजनी, रजनी का भी भाग्य। फोन पर भी मुरली सुनाते थे, बाप से मिलना, आपस में लेन देन करना और सर्विस की नवीनता लाना। बाप दादा खुश।
बाबा कैसे चुन करके अपने को अपना बना लेता, गीत आता है कि इसने मुझे अपना बनाकर मुस्कुराना सिखा लिया।
किसी ने अपना बना के मुझको मुस्कुराना सिखा दिया। अंधेरे घर में किसी ने हंस के चिराग जैसे जला दिया। मुझको मुस्कुराना सिखा दिया कनाता कोई यूं ही नहीं दिल लगाता कोई तेरा मुझसे है पहले कनाता कोई यूं ही
रजनी इसको लेके आई
In the beginning, when Rajni Ben brought Jayanti Ben,
तो मेरी बालकी में आंख भर गई अच्छी 8 साल की थी
she was 8 years old,
बच्चों का
and
क्लास
Dadi's
होता
vision
था
was drawn to her. There
पर
used to be a
बालकी अच्छी
children's
थी
class, and Dadi's vision was on Jayanti
सदोरी
Ben. She
थी
was a good child,
से हम
the
बच्चों को
foreign
पालना
lands.
दी है ना
And right
वो
from the early
पालना का
days, the
सबूत दे रही है
sustenance that Baba
बड़ी
had
बात
given
नहीं कर
us,
रही है पालना जो बाबा की मिली है
Baba
हरी
made
सच्ची
sure that she
एक
received
बाप
that
दूसरा
same
न
sustenance
कोई तो
that has
सबको
penetrated her bones,
ऐसे
so that
पुरुषार्थ
she
कराने
has
में
that feeling of one
निमित्त
Baba and
बनने
no
वाले के
other.
ऊपर है
प्यारे बाबा तेरा शुक्रिया मेरे बाबा तेरा शुक्रिया प्यारे बाबा तेरा शुक्रिया मेरे बाबा तेरा शुक्रिया बेहद सुख है दिया शुक्रिया 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 प्यारे
Somebody asked me yesterday, do you realize how much the family loves you? And I said, yes, I know. And it's a very, very moving moment to feel all the waves of love reaching me.
शुक्रिया शुक्रिया प्यारे बाबा तेरा शुक्रिया मीठे बाबा तेरा शुक्रिया
I just want to keep thanking Baba for my fortune. So I don't think it's anything I've done, but it's just fortune.
God is in charge. And so definitely God is in charge.
क्या कहूँ मैं ये जग से
आकर वो दिन भी आएगा आप लाएंगे जो सब कहेंगे वाह 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 वाह
Wow, 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 Jayanti, wow. Happy birthday, Jayanti Ben.
And thank you, Bhumi.
Thank you, Bhumi. That was beautiful. So, should we finish with some drishti? Does everyone want to?
Anyway, happy birthday from all of us. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Didi.
And in case anybody wants to know, Sister Jayanti turned 77 today. And when I say I'm a year younger, she always reminds me, no, it's only 7 months. So yeah, take drishti from.
Can everyone wave hand? Great.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Shanti. Thank you very much and
Om
remain.
Shanti, Om Shanti.
Happy birthday.
Shanti.
Happy birthday.
Shanti
Shanti Didi.
Happy birthday.
Om Shanti. Happy birthday to
Happy
you.
birthday.
Om Shanti.
Birthday, Sister Jayanti.
Happy birthday, Jayanti Didi. Birthday, Jayanti Didi.
Happy birthday, Jayanti Didi from Bolivia.
Om Shanti.
Mas
Om
enfrente,
Shanti.
Maria,
Happy
mas
birthday.
parece.
Happy birthday.
Close.
Yeah.
No, they started, but they